Okay, what's up everyone? It's been a while. As you can see here, we got some burgers from Super Duper and some garlic fries on the side as well. And the other day, actually, these things are synonymous, right? When eating a burger, or I was eating Mexican food the other day with some tacos, I was like, damn, I could really go for a Coca-Cola, a bottled Mexican Coca-Cola for that matter. So I didn't get it the other day, but having soda with the burger is like, it's kind of like a must-have. If I do say so myself. I don't drink much soda. Of course, it's not good for you, but you gotta get the bottled Coca-Cola right here. It's super nice. And in my opinion, tastes better. I don't know why. But yeah, let's get into today's mukbang. And today, the weather is actually it's been super hazy in San Francisco, as you guys know. If you guys know the situation in California and all these fires that have been running rampant. It's quite dismal, to say the least. But today is one of those days it's actually clearer and the air is a little better as well. Let's go. Okay, let's get a bite of this burger right here. It's got some grilled onions, and jalapenos in there, you know what I'm saying? Oh, let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's get into today's topic. Gado High School has been getting a little better these days. And today we'll be talking about episode 10 and 11. So we'll start off with episode 10, obviously. So this episode kind of gives a little backstory about the history, the bad blood between Jaegal and Park Il-pyo. So back in the day, Song Yeon, who is a very close friend of Il-pyo, entered a martial arts tournament. And she faced up against no other than Jaegal himself. And she was badly defeated in this martial arts match. And at the end of it, she was injured and put in a horrible state where she was in a wheelchair. Now, Il-pyo was by her side, taking her to the doctor while the doctor announced her physical status. She would be able to walk again with, constant therapy, physical therapy. However, martial arts is out of the question. That's thrown out the door. And during this tournament, we see that Seung-yeon's eyes, she visits Il-pyo and her sister, Song-ha. They look so similar, I got them confused at first. Her eyes are kind of lifeless. Now, everything she put into her whole life, she's been doing martial arts. And in the blink of an eye, it's taken away from you, right? The thing that you love most. And I'm sure many people can relate. There's so many things in life. You can do martial arts as well, where there's like a very high risk of getting a horrible injury, ending your career off the bat, or you're in some type of horrible accident, right? That changes your life completely. And I can't imagine how it feels to have everything that you loved. You put all your heart and soul, and then the next thing that it's out in the blink of an eye, right? So that's like a horrible feeling horrible feeling. I can only imagine how it feels. So now, if you remember that Jaegal and Il-pyo actually had an altercation too. Il-pyo was greatly angry by this, and he used his anger to get stronger to the point where he was strong enough to beat up Jaegal. Now it's also revealed to remember that the guy that was beat up by Jin, who was in a warehouse, he's part of the Knox organization, of course, right? And Jaegal pays him a little visit, and it's revealed that, I'm not surprised. Jaegal seems like an evil character already. He was actually part of the Knox organization, and the guy was chewing him out, why didn't you come sooner? And then he says, why should I come? I have my own personal affairs to attend to. And he kills him right off the bat. and reveals that he wanted only the intel from the Nox organization, and he actually wants the key himself. And we'll get later on about who the key is in this review later. So Daehui actually faces off against Sungha, and it's a pretty good battle at first, but Daehui is a little more talented. Now we switch back and forth during the fight. Park Mu-jin actually calls in the Soul Team and confesses about the goals of the Nox organization, that their plan is to kill off any people who are Charyo accusers, any individuals who bother the power of some other entities or these gods of some sort, right? They want to be the only ones with that power. Then Jin obviously knows about the situation with his grandfather, and Park Mu-jin makes a promise. You guys are able to win the God of High School tournament, we will let you know about what's going on and more info. And Jin really feels obligated to do whatever it takes. He wants to know. He doesn't want to be kept in the dark, right? He knows that Park Mu-jin knows more behind the scenes, and in doing so, he probably learned about the welfare of his grandfather. So that's his motivation to win this tournament as of this moment. So after Daehui beats Sungha, he did a fairly good job, if I say so myself. The match that we've all been waiting for. It's Jin versus Ilpyo. Now, getting into this fight, and in the next episode as well, episode 11 really shocked me, toward the end of this episode, there's something that's revealed. So during the fight, it seems that Ilpyo is overpowering Jin. He's far more, technically, a technical martial artist. He can pinpoint his opponent's weaknesses, and he's just an all-around more better fighter. So during the match, Ilpyo kind of coaches Jin of some sort. So of his weaknesses, the first one being, we notice that Jin isn't comfortable with close combat, right? He mainly uses his legs and doesn't really use hand-to-hand combat that often. And then now, the second weakness that he finds in Jin's style is that he preps using techniques, and it can be kind of obvious at times. Sometimes. So if you remember Jin's infamous triple kick, Jin's about to do this on Ilpyo, but Ilpyo stops Jin in the middle of his tracks, and he's unable to complete his triple kick. And then now, his third weakness that Ilpyo points out is that his techniques uses too much strain on his body. After Jin used his blue dragon kick, I believe it's called, he's greatly tired, and you can really see it on his face. Okay, and in even episode 10, there were so many things going on. It was hard to keep track. It definitely seemed very fast-paced. I know a lot of manhwa readers, for that matter, of God High School, say that's way too fast-paced and it skips a lot of stuff. But as an anime watcher, I'm quite enjoying the series so far. I do agree some parts may be a little fast-paced, but that it's hard to produce an anime, right? There's so much time and budget, and I'm sure the creator of God of High School is just trying to get the main points across in the story. So, getting back to the fight, Ilpyo points out Jin's weaknesses. However, during the fight, Jin improves and tries to cover up for his weaknesses. So this is really what shocks me about Jin's potential as a martial arts fighter, right? So during the battle, he actually uses Mira's Moonlight Sword style, swordless, and then he also uses Daehui's first stance, Black Tortoise, during the middle of the fight. So I'm assuming Jin's strength is that once he sees some techniques, even just once, he can actually copycat right off the bat, which is crazy. Now, during this big battle, outside of this stadium, the Nox organization is up to no good, and I think the name of the Nox leader, what it appears to be, is Mandok or some sort, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he calls out that being, seems like from the gates of hell, where a big sword comes out of the sky, where, as you can see, when he encountered Jin Tae-jin Jin's grandfather, right? So all this is going on, I believe, right outside of the God of High School tournament, and then Mujin is encountering Mondok and trying to use his power to stop the sword from destroying the face of the earth. Now, what was really funny, there's this other sixth member that we get introduced to. His name is Seo Haoyang. Can't pronounce it, but he's known as a national treasure user. And then he just busts out a bunch of random weapons. He busts out like an arrow, a bazooka, a machine gun. It got me weak, but yeah, that was kind of random in that sense if you think about it, for me at least. And then, yes, we get also a little flashback of Jin Tae-jin. Remember when he visited Il-pyo when he was a very young child, heading down the secret, I forgot what his martial arts style is, but he handed down the secret martial art moves from his grandfather. Now he was trying to hand it to him. And then Jin Tae-jin asked Il-pyo a little favor, if anything. It's like, if you ever meet my grandson, can you teach him a few things for me? And of course, Il-pyo feels indebted to Jin Tae-jin because he saved his life in a sense when he was weak and he wanted to get stronger, right? And then he is all thankful for what Jin Tae-jin has done for him. So that's why Il-pyo was teaching Jin during the middle of the fight, pointing out his weaknesses. Now, toward the end of the episode, this is the real cliffhanger when I was watching this live on episode 10. So Jin, he's bumping up his levels, right? He's stepping up to the plate and bearing the challenge against Il-pyo, and pretty much is overpowering him at this point as well. And Il-pyo at one point, he's on the ground. He says, I'm not going to give up yet. And then this other godly being, I'm sure if you guys know in Japanese folklore, and if you're a fan of Naruto, you know this mythical creature as well, known as the nine-tailed fox, approaches Il-pyo in this other state of consciousness and gives him this power. Now, the nine-tailed fox and Il-pyo, they're synonymous as the power of the ki. Now, at first I thought Jin Mori was the ki, right? You always think that the main character of the story is going to be the main focal point of like this overpowered character and whatnot. Of course, Jin is super strong. He's probably overpowered as well. But Il-pyo is revealed to be the ki at the end of episode 10. And Park Mu-jin and Mondok, the leader of the Lunox organization, what I believe, realizes that the ki has awakened. So yeah. So let's get some more to eat here before we get to episode 11, which is getting good. Okay, now let's get into episode 11, which, man, earlier this week I couldn't wait for this episode. So, at this point in time, Park Il-pyo is like in a godly state. He's in his sage mode. He's in his nine-tailed fox form from Naruto. He's like, it seems like he's untouchable and unstoppable. So, Jin actually isn't backing down from the fight and is giving his all as well. But his attacks seem like it's not landing a hit on Il-pyo at all. Right? Il-pyo isn't even lifting a finger. He has some like invisible barrier blocking Jin's punches and kicks. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's that fist from that Coke, that nice Mexican Coke. Oh, excuse me. But anyways, so yes. And then Jin, Il-pyo isn't even actually physically landing punches on Jin's body. It's like from afar, he's landing these punches and, flings and Jin up in the air and tossing him like a sandbag. It's like light work for him. It's child's play for Il-pyo. Now, it wouldn't be right, for Il-pyo to easily defeat Jin, like Jin didn't put up a fight. We see that Mira and also Davy awaken their Charyu powers a little bit, right? We see Mira has like that, what was that? That Chinese spirit wheel, Lubu, I believe is his name. And then we're not sure about Daehui's Charyuk ability, but it seems to do something with ice, right? So Jin actually awakens in this battle. Ilpyo pushes him to the brink, and I'm not sure what this entity where Jin is borrowing this power from, but as Ilpyo, he uses this move called Night Parade of 100 Demons. It's like a bunch of firefoxes swarming Jin at this point in time. But Jin appears to be holding some type of spear of some sort. You can't see it, it's invisible. The creator is teasing us at this point. And he swipes and destroys all these firefoxes that Ilpyo created, and creating a gust of, like a tornado of some sort, thrusting Ilpyo above the heavens, which I felt was kind of dramatic. Now, after Ilpyo's up in the sky, we see that there's like this big Buddhist palm of some sort, and this definitely reminds me of Kung Fu Hustle, Stephen Chow's movie. I actually recently watched it with my mother the other day. Great movie. I can't remember how many times I watched that movie. It just brings back so many memories. But if you get to the end of that movie, there's a move called the Buddhist palm of some sort, and it definitely reminds me of that from Kung Fu Hustle. And right there, Jin smacks Ilpyo into a pancake, and the battle is over as we know it. And Jin comes out as a victor. Now, coming out of this victory, Jin had the Daehui and Mira embrace Jin in open arms, saying congratulations on the victory and getting all happy and stuff like that. But Jin is like kind of in the other state of consciousness. I felt like he wasn't really conscious while he was using this power, and he has no clue what just happened, right? Okay, now getting back to Park Mu-jin and all the commissioners, they're still battling this Nox organization, and Man-duk, I believe, I forgot his name exactly, but he appears right in front of the tournament area and decides to bring out this creature once more, this otherworldly being. Now, we learned that, scratch what I just said. So after this big battle between Jin and Park Ilpyo, Ilpyo is trying to recover and recuperate, and he's in the hospital area where I believe the contestants of the Gata High School are recovering with their nanotechnology, right? The crazy technology they have, alongside with his teammate Songha, and I forgot his other teammate. He's so forgettable. I don't remember his name. But Jin actually pays a visit to Ilpyo and tries to chat up a storm, and they're quite on friendly terms. And eventually they get in some time alone together where Jin wants to talk about his grandfather Jin Tae-jin and his situation to Park Ilpyo. And Ilpyo is greatly distressed about this as well, since he thinks very highly of Jin Tae-jin as well. And during the middle of this fight, if you remember Jaegal, I'm not sure if it was his first match, but he was against that Tai Chi user or some sort. I forgot his name. He's from like a rich family and stuff like that. And during the fight, when Jin and Ilpyo awakened, it somehow it manifested some type of monster type being inside this Tai Chi user. So he's going rampant and he's losing control, and he wants to defeat Jaegal, and eventually he turns into some crazy monster, and he has this ability to absorb other individuals as well. And during the fight, this Tai Chi user dude, he absorbs Songha and the other dude from Ilpyo's team. And when his mate is trying to get him back to his senses, that's when Jaegal sees an opening. Now I knew Jaegal, he's just bad news all around. He doesn't care about anyone. So in that split second he sees an opening, he uses his like shark Charyuk and chomps the dude in half to pieces. Now luckily, Songha and the other dude came out alive, but not in all pieces, right? Since Jaegal has like that shark Charyuk of some sort. And the dude lost his arm, and then Songha, Songyeon's sister, also lost her leg, and both of them are greatly injured and losing a lot of blood at this point. Now this brings back Ilpyo when Jaegal pretty much shattered his friend Sungyeon's legs, or I forgot what part of her body exactly, but pretty much put her into a wheelchair in the current state that she's in. Now, Ilpyo is greatly angered by Jaegal's actions, and he bursts into in a rage, and Jaegal has his sights on Ilpyo as well, since he wants to get revenge for him getting beat up by Ilpyo too. So now Ilpyo is much stronger, and Jaegal is much stronger as well, and there's a big brawl that's starting to break out. And in the meantime, the Nox organization knows that Ilpyo is the key, right? So they're doing whatever they can to get their hands on Ilpyo. But Park Mu-jin and other commissioners are not having it, and will do whatever it's in their power to prevent the Nox organization from getting their hands on Ilpyo, aka the key. Now, these Nox organization members are it seems like they're worshipping some type of god and trying to resurrect this being of some sort, right? And they need the key in order to do that. I'm not quite sure. And then also in the beginning of episode 11, it gives us a little background of, I'm not sure if this is spot on in the nine-tailed mythology, but they say that the nine-tailed fox was created by God and actually destroyed half of the heavens. And God had to seal away the nine-tailed fox due to being fearful of how powerful the nine-tailed fox was, right? So at the end of the episode, we see that Mandok, or the leader of the Nox organization, is still trying to put up a fight, trying to get their hands on Ilpyo as a key. And then, Ilpyo and Jaegal are going at it in another intense brawl. So I'm not sure how this fight is going to go down. And then at the end of the episode, Jaegal says that I officially call this God of High School tournament over, right? Which, definitely seems very... it seems very reasonable, right? There's too many things going on, and the Nox organization is just giving us too much trouble. We can't do both things at the same time. So I don't know how probably be another tournament sometime in the future, I'm assuming, right? The God of High School is temporarily called off for now, at least. So there was so many things in these past two episodes of God of High School. A lot of action, which I really like as well. So it's been a while, guys. I haven't done a mukbang for a while, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next mukbang whenever it is. All right, peace.